one platform tonight. Okay, so we are live. All right. All right. All right. We're gonna give it a little time for these some folks to come on in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have another amazing night here on the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. We are here to uplift humanity. Most importantly, we are here to help assist awakening the melanated, woolly haired beings that have been asleep for a very long time. I'm very happy to say that they're starting to wake up. A lot of people, a lot of people like to ask me because they watch my podcast, they watch my different guests I have, my different topics. They say, Zoe, Zosa, how is it that you're so diverse? You want to know that? Go pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. It tells you everything, and we're editing my second book right now, and editing my second book, so this will definitely be out March. I mean, not March, spring or early summer, and that's a definite thing. I already talked to my publisher, and we're doing all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So as I always say, that's enough for me. That's all I got to say today. I have a beautiful young sister right here with me today. And sis, go ahead and tell them who you are, what your name is, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you for having me, and I want to extend my gratitude because you are my elder, and you paved the way for me. Whether you're related by blood, you paved the way for me. You open up opportunities for me. You put things in position, not just for me, but for us. So I appreciate that. But hey, everybody, peace and love. I am Intuitive Jonta. I am the Aboriginal Intuitive. My mission, my goal, my purpose is to inspire and enhance the collective and the community on spiritual wellness and awareness by bringing different spiritual services and products that relieve the body and relax the mind and reignite the spirit.
Okay. Well, that's
Well,
that's
pretty much that sums it up. I mean, when you think of spiritual wellness, it's expansive. So I am an occultist. I dab and dib in divination. I am a candle practitioner, and I'm about to add herbalist to the list of amazing things that I do.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Keep going, sis. Look, every single day we are alive. We can improve on this being, right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Every single day, every second, every single day, every second, we can always improve who we are. All right. So thank you very much again for being here. So I'm gonna kind of I like to kind of go in like a semi chronological order, like when I like to talk to new folks when I'm getting to meet them and stuff. So
Okay.
um let's start early childhoodish. You know what I mean? Where are you from? First off,
I'm
where were you
from a small
born?
town called East St. Louis.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they hear it, they say St. Louis. And if I say East St. Louis, Illinois, they say Chicago. Well,
Oh,
it's in the
okay.
in between. It's
All
in the
right.
in between. It's really the only thing that's separated from St. Louis is literally a bridge. That's
Okay.
it. But they're definitely very, very close connected. So if you in East St. Louis, you're probably in St. Louis as well. But born and raised in East St. Louis, grandfather, grandmother as well. A lot of family from that area. And East St. Louis is a very poverty stricken
Mm,
area, um, full of drugs, full of crime, and not a lot of opportunity.
okay.
One of the historic things about East St. Louis, it was a very thriving community before I even entered this realm. And white supremacy came in and burned down the black businesses and burned down everything they had built. It's actually in the books about East St. Louis. So it has some beautiful and not so beautiful history about
Hmm.
it. But um,
Is
very
there?
thankful for the lesson learned, the growth.
Mhm.
But childhood was not easy.
All right. And we are gonna get the quick question before we go in that direction. Like, is there a big native population, like as far as you know,
So,
American Indian?
East St. Louis has the Cahokia Mounds,
Okay.
and a
Okay.
lot of
Okay.
Indians were from that part of town. My
Okay.
grandfather, Walter Patton, is a Choctaw
Hmm.
Indian,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
he was originally from Arkansas. But going through what they went through in those times, they had to travel, they had to move.
Yeah.
And Walter Patton gave birth to my great grandmother, which was Octavia Patton. She made my great great grandfather Willie Jackson, and they transitioned here to East St. Louis, where they
Okay.
raised my grandfather, his other siblings, and we began to build a family. But definitely a lot of culture, a lot of
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. Yeah. So was that something that is that something was that something that you should that everybody used to talk about how y'all connected with the American Indians? Is that
Definitely. It's one of the biggest tourist sites. So,
yeah?
when you come to East St. Louis, if you ain't coming to get no drugs, the only other reason you coming is you're going to go
See
through
the
the
mounds.
Cahokia Mounds.
Yeah.
You're going to see that land where, the first settlers and the Indians were cohabitating and living and thriving. They were thriving. It
Yeah.
was a thriving community. And it's still there. So it's amazing. It's really beautiful. And it's something great to have, minus the poverty, minus the drugs, to have that part of our history is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there yet. I am going to go. I know you're in Atlanta now. I am back in up top
It's
Marietta,
like you going in and out just a
75
little
north.
bit.
Okay. Okay, I do see that. Well, they have the Etowah Mounds in down in Atlanta, but I have seen those mounds. I definitely want to go check them out. But let's kind of go back to you saying you said it was child hard it was kind of rough. Could you kind of elaborate on what you mean by
Yeah,
that?
definitely. So, let's go back to 1982. Oh, 80s baby. That is when I was born. The drugs took over the community. The drugs took over families, and my family was not exempt.
Mm,
Drugs came into my household, and it changed my mother completely. I have only remembered her my entire childhood. She was a drug addict. And my father, he was absent. Wait a minute, where did Zozer go? He disappeared. I don't know what happened, you guys. I hope I am still here. Let's give him a second to pop back on.
I'm here. No,
Cause
yeah, I'm.
oh,
You
you
got the
still
yeah,
here?
you good?
Okay, good. Okay,
No, you're
so
here. You fine. Yeah. You just got
yes,
you got the solo layout.
but I appreciate that. So my mom, they brought crack to the community in the 80s.
What you're
And when I
saying that
say it took over like a wildfire, it took
mhm.
over like a wildfire. And because of that, I had an absent mother and I had an absent father. I'm the daughter of a mistress. So I didn't have that role model. I didn't have that love. I didn't have that value. I'm going to share this story when I first began to have these visions and these clairsentient where I can feel and hear things. My earliest memory, and I'm not taking anything from my mother, but this is my truth. She was a drug addict. So my earliest memory is trauma. And I don't have a lot of happy memories, but I decided not to live there. So I was 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, and my brother was a newborn. And my mom wanted to go out with her friends, and she left us home with someone who's an uncle, but not really an uncle, but he had been around your family for a long time, so you consider him your uncle. And so I'll never forget, I had on a tank top and panties, and my baby brother was in his bed, and I was reading. It was a knock on the door. And they called me, Tater Head, go open the door. And I opened the door to a bear shotgun pointing down my throat. And it was my other uncle, who was really not my uncle, but he was someone who was around the family, came around my mom. You know, it was a lot of people around us because of the activities my mom involved herself in. So it was a knock on the door, it was a barrel shotgun pointing directly at me and my uncle. And so as these two men are arguing, I heard a voice in my head, and it said, no. So first I grabbed my newborn baby brother, and I attempted to go under the bed, but then I heard a voice in my head, and I seen the premonition that said, Jonta, don't go under the bed. Well, I ignored the voice and the premonition the first time. I'm 4 years old, and I decided to go under the bed again, and it said it louder. And the vision was vivid. Jonta, do not go under the bed. So at 4 years old, carrying this baby, which seemed like he weighed a ton, I went outside in 3 feet of snow. I'll never forget. It seemed like he came to my waist. I had on panties and a tank top, and I'm holding this baby, and he seemed to be so heavy. I felt like I couldn't even hold him, and I'm waving my hand in this snow, and and who drives up the street but my mother? The bullets from their altercation went under the bed. That was my first introduction to my gifts, my first introduction to my visions, my first introduction to my spirit. And at 4 years old, you're confused, but you're smart. I knew I heard something. I knew I seen something. I knew because of that vision and because of that voice, I saved me and my brother's life. Now, that story my family will share with you. They will share it at the family reunions. They will share it at the get-togethers. But when I began asking questions about this voice, I was taught to dumb it down. I was taught to numb it down. You know, at 10 years old, I was cooking crack in my kitchen for my mother and her friends. At 11 years old, I was sitting on drug dealers' lap who were fondling me. You know, I went through so much as a child, abuse and trauma and neglect. You know, at 15, I was pregnant. And no one recognized that. Not my mother, not my father. They didn't recognize what was going on with me. And I hid my pregnancy actually all the way until I was 7 months. And I hid that pregnancy because I knew they would make me get rid of a child. But here it is, a child who only wants love, who only wants affection, who only wants the attention of their mother and their father, is now going to have someone to give that love to. So becoming a mother at 15 actually changed my life a lot. I experienced and I've seen some things that no child should ever have to see or ever have to experience. And it changed me. In the beginning, this darkness took over me. I began to drink the pain away. I began to sex the pain away. I began to distract myself with any and everything to remove this trauma, to disconnect myself from this pain. But who knew that would lead me on a journey to expansion, a journey to spiritual enlightenment? Who knew going through that valley of the shadow of death would reveal so much light? But you could have never told me that then, you know?
Yeah, then, yeah.
And every man that I've been with, I've been abused. It was a lot of abuse. It was a lot of trauma. And if I can take anything from it, as spirits having this human experience, and I know it's so hard for us to enter and understand, we choose these families. You know, we choose our families. We choose our mother. We choose our father because they were the catalyst to my growth. Because of the abandonment and not having a mother's love, I love my children wholeheartedly. Because of that, I have learned to communicate differently and to show up differently and to be more confident of who I am. But I would have never experienced any of that without the darkness of the trauma, the pain, the neglect, the rapes, the molestations, the abuse. See, so many times we don't enter and understand when we going through it, why we going through it. But I am one to tell you, you going through it for a reason. We don't enter and overstand. You could have never told me at 11 years old, I got a 40-year-old man. He was about to kidnap me. He was about to pack up and leave with me. And because my mom was so afflicted with these drugs, and because my father was absent, no one noticed, seen, or heard anything. And who knew that, those experiences and those trauma, I want to say it rebirthed me. I learned to alchemize trauma. I learned to alchemize pain. I learned to be able to lead in the darkness. And more of my light was rebirthed. Addiction is heavy in my family. And becoming a teenage mother and not having that proper role model, I almost fell into that same path. Addiction, promiscuity, not valuing yourself, not loving yourself, disconnected from your spirit, disconnected from your womb. As a goddess, if you're disconnected from your womb, you're disconnected from your source energy. And so my childhood had a major role in the goddess I became today. And I want to share this with the community and the collective. I don't blame my mother, and I do not blame my father, for they were victims as well. I don't know what they went through as children. I don't know the abuse that they endured. I don't know who didn't love them and didn't take care of them. While I do hold them accountable for certain actions, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. And I do not hold them responsible. I'm responsible for my healing.
Yeah.
I'm responsible from turning pain and pressure into passion and purpose. And so, that's what I began to do. And it's been a long journey.
Okay, so and thank you for sharing. First off, and kind of moving forward. So, what did the transition look like from all of this trauma, all this stuff that happened into where you are today? Like, not even where you are today. Let's back up. Let's just say when things started to make sense. For you to build a foundation to get to where you are today. How did that look like?
So we were always Christian folks. So I was always in the church, kind of, always in the church. And I started to look around the church and no shit, I began to judge them. Like, y'all talk all this, and you guys are some of the most judgmental. Some of the most judgmental, some of the most disconnected people that I've ever seen. So I began to connect with, I've always heard these voices. Okay, I've always had these visions, but I ran from them. So the first thing I did was put that bottle down. I was a young alcoholic. So I put that bottle down. And after I put that bottle down, I began to spend this time with me. So slowly but surely, and I can't even explain to you how it happened, but it just began to be revealed to me. Like, things began to be revealed that I'm not my circumstances. You're not your trauma. You can change your life, Jonta. You can grow. You can develop. Spirit told me clearly, use what you are given. I said, say that again. Use what you were given. And so I began to use what I was given, and I began to speak. And I began to heal. I began to disconnect from certain people. And it became really, really strong. I want to say these last 5 years of my life, a huge transformation, and it wasn't just a one thing. It was a number of things. I began to change the people I hung out with. I began to change the way that I looked at the woman in the mirror. I began to disconnect and cut the energetic cords of my past. I'm not my past. I'm not the molestations. I'm not the rapes. I'm not the mistakes. I'm not that. So I began to disconnect to reconnect. So everything began to be stripped away, and Spirit got me alone. I think that's what happened the most. Got me alone, got me away from comfortability, got me away from certain influences, and got me in that darkness by myself. And you couldn't run from it anymore. I had to face it. So,
Okay.
I swallowed it,
Mm.
and I swallowed my pride, and I began facing the darkest
Yeah.
parts of me that I kept
Yeah.
hidden.
Shadow work. That
Yeah.
shadow work.
I began to
Yeah.
face like Jonta, it ain't your daddy fault that every nigga you date ain't shit. I'm sorry. It ain't your daddy fault. It is your fault. You got to think about
Yeah.
this. You can't keep using the trauma of having a bad father be the reason that you're attracting bad men. No, baby, you're a reflection of these
Yeah.
men. Come on now, keep it real. That's what I had to begin
Mhm.
doing with myself. Keep it real. This ain't no reflection of your daddy issues. This is a reflection of your issues you have with your father. And because you're not healing those issues, you're attracting them in partners. Come on now. So many times we want to point the blame at our childhood and at our mother and at our father, but we have to come to an understanding, an overstanding, and hold ourselves accountable. And so that's what I began to do. I began to stop pointing the blame at everyone else. The reason I'm messed up and the reason I can't hold a good relationship and the reason niggas going upside my head and the reason I can't gain success and the reason I can't be proud, I blamed everyone but myself. But I began to turn that gaze inward. And when that
Mhm.
shadow work began, a lot was revealed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did your shadow work? Was it just meditation? Was it plant-based medicine? How did the shadow work look like?
Shadow work was journaling. Shadow work
Journaling.
was
Okay.
mirror magic.
Mhm.
Shadow work was meditation. Shadow work was changing the things I watched on television. Shadow work was
Mhm.
changing the friends I was hanging out with. Shadow work was changing, making it an excuse for the reason you do what you do. Oh, it's a
Mhm.
combination of that. Shadow work ain't just no one thing.
Yeah. That's true.
It's a combination of things.
Mhm.
Journaling and meditation and changing the way I eat and changing the men I date. I even became celibate. It's a
Yeah.
big part of my shadow work.
Mhm.
For the goddesses that are on this live, your womb, and I'm not taking it away from my gods, as a woman, your womb is a source of not only the creation of life, but ideas and how you value yourself and the choices you make. If you're disconnected from your womb, and that comes from rape and molestation and partners that you let deposit their energy,
Mhm.
we store there. So one of the things I had to do, I had to begin womb healing.
Healing. Yeah.
I had to sit with my womb and myself. I had to strip down, the abuse as a childhood and the abuse that I was putting myself through as an adult. I couldn't blame
Exactly.
all this on these men.
Mhm.
This was me.
Exactly.
So womb healing was a very big part of my shadow work. I've been in Atlanta for just celebrated my 3 years, and I've been celibate for 2.5.
Mhm.
And people say that, oh my God, girl. No, this is deeper than just sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
sex is the deepest energetic cord of attachment. And if you're not careful as a woman, these energetic deposits that sit in your womb become physical blockages. So here go the
Mhm.
fibroids, here go the
Mhm.
infertility, here go
Mhm.
you can't even decide your ego. You can't decipher your ego from your intuition because you got so much energy blockage
Mhm.
within inside of your womb. You can't even
Mhm.
step into your divinity and your goddess energy. You're steady shrinking yourself. So womb healing was very, very big for me. And
Mhm.
for any goddess on this journey, that is one of the first steps that I think that should be talked about and should be implemented.
Yeah.
So I began. Your womb is its own entity. So I
Mm-hmm.
began that connection, and I began that magic back, and I began releasing energetic cords. So I began yoni steaming, and then drinking my womb teas, and actually connecting my womb with the sun. Women don't know, but you're supposed to open your legs and let the sun through.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to do these different things, and I'm telling you, it helped me so much.
Yeah.
I have a Womb Wellness Wednesday on IG Live, and I'm about to start doing it on TikTok, where I share more of how your womb is connected directly to your intuition and your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're discombobulated or unbalanced or in these low vibrational relationships, that's where it come back to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was it's a very big part of my spiritual wellness.
Yeah.
For me, spiritual wellness is a lifestyle. It's not just a routine. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that's to my wellness and my awareness, from the foods that I eat, to the decisions that I make, to the music that I listen to the people I decide to connect with, how I show up in the world, it all goes back to your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That so so after healing, after that, when is it that you and what was it as far as you starting to find your purpose in life after it's like because like we were talking off camera, we just talk about how a lot of the best teachers you can get are the ones that been through it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We you know, and dealing with you went through all that, but when is it the light switch on, you're like, then you started to find your own purpose, and what is that purpose once you found
So
it?
I'll go back to childhood. At 5 years old, they asked me what I wanted to be, and I said a doctor. I knew I've always wanted to help and heal people.
Hmm.
And my family thought a doctor meant the white coat, but I'm actually a doctor right now.
Hmm.
So I knew all my life that I wanted to help people. I used to bring stray dogs home and stray people home and feed people. And even in my friendship groups, everybody called me the mama of the group. They come to me for advice and everything. But it wasn't until 5 years ago that Spirit told me you can turn this pain into purpose.
Mm.
You can open your mouth and you can begin to speak. See, with inside of my DNA is wisdom, it's knowledge, it's the Akashic records. I have
Hmm.
everything that I need.
Yeah.
And Spirit said, I need you to speak. I've always been a speaker. I've always
Hmm.
been a leader, but it hasn't been in this capacity.
Yeah.
5 years ago, Spirit said, that's where your purpose is. That
Hmm.
pain you went through, that trauma you went through. Use that, Jonta. Use it to
Hmm.
heal you. Use it to heal the generation before you. Use it to heal the generation that's coming after you. Use it to break the karmic ties.
Hmm.
And that's what I began to do. So now you can't get me to shut up.
Yeah, no, it's real interesting that you talk about like not being your past, even though it makes you who you are today, but it's like those experiences, that we had as individuals in the past. Yes, it made us, but also we're not living. They're not part of our present anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? And what you're saying, interesting, is really interesting. You said cutting, the ties of the past, and I think that is so important. Regardless of what we've been through,
Mm-hmm.
we've already been through it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And we here now, and we're
And we,
live to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And we have these experiences that gave us that make us stronger, more wise now. In the present. And
Yes.
obviously in the future. So, I heard you talking about light, darkness, shadow work. Um, what when dealing with, would you say in dealing with your experience, was it you coming out of darkness, coming receiving light? How do you see that metaphorical dealing with light and darkness?
So I feel like that I ran from the darkness.
Okay.
I feel like that I ran from my trauma.
Hmm.
I ran from the abuse. I ran from the pain. I ran from the addiction. And I began to stuff it.
Hmm.
And I began to cover it up with band-aids of everything. Drugs, alcohol, people.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's actually the darkness.
The darkness. Yeah.
That's the darkness. When you
Mm-hmm.
begin to find this light, you begin to stand up to the darkness. You sit yourself down. You say, "Hey, okay, I gotta face this. I can't keep
Mm-hmm.
running from this."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's how you come out the darkness to the light. See, I feel like as spirits having this human experience, we're dark matter as it is. But so many things from our past and from our childhood makes us dim our light. See, I didn't used to speak because they said I wasn't qualified enough. I didn't used to speak because they said, "Girl, how dare you speaking? You done been through this and you done been through that." So I dimmed my light for so long. And who knew the whole time going through that darkness was what I needed to reveal my light? Now I speak on it. Now I share it. And I don't want people to get around. We are duality. We are darkness and we are light. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is integrating them. How can I use my shadow? How can I use my ego to show
Mm-hmm.
up in my community to show them how I turned that into light, how I turned that into success, how I turned that
Mm-hmm.
into growth, how I turned that
Mm-hmm.
into evolvement? That is what we have to do. We have to integrate because we
Mm-hmm.
are duality. Just as I am a light divine film, I can be a dark divine film. How can you
Yeah.
integrate that and help you grow? That's just like your pain. How can I integrate molestation to help me see the light?
Yeah.
And people are like, damn, how can somebody hurt you? Somebody mistreated you. But if I begin to speak on it, if I begin to share it, I just help someone else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just heal parts of me that I kept stuff down because you got to let that shit go. You got to.
Yeah. Definitely. You got
It
to.
will kill you literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I know tons of people that are just and throughout the years they're just nasty old, you know, nasty old people when it comes to just their mindset. Nasty a nasty heart. Them jokers be just having heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Literally killing you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's so true. So what about what about like because I know you were talking about relationship. You briefly talked about that. So what is the significance that you learned, you know, more so in a little bit more detail about the relationships and reflection of you, or even um, the right way to have a relationship? Could you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, so my relationships was a reflection of my trauma. Huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, baby. Okay. You know, I was a mom at 15, and at 16, I was walking around with two black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at 23, I had been shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every man that I thought I had loved, and that goes back. And let me say this, thank you, Spirit. We have to begin loving ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
give yourself that love first, because if not, you will look for that in every other person and you will not find it. You will find yourself hurt. You will find
Mm-hmm.
yourself mistreated, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so my relationships, and I haven't been in one since I was engaged before I came here.
Mm-hmm.
And the day before we left, we woke up and he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Took his half of the money and everything, but I still hopped on this highway.
Mm-hmm.
But my relationships reflected my childhood abandonment.
Yeah.
My relationships reflected me not loving myself. My
Mm-hmm.
relationships reflected me not honoring myself because
Mm-hmm.
I was with men who mistreated me. I was with men who beat me. I was with men who treated me like the scum of the fucking earth. And how
Mm-hmm.
can I be mad at them when they are a reflection of how I felt about
Yeah.
myself?
They didn't care. Yeah. The same way you've looked in the mirror, felt the same way. Yep. And they,
So
yeah.
our goddesses got to stop saying all niggas ain't shit. No, baby, that is a reflection of your trauma.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide what part of him you attract. Just
Yeah.
like we don't get to decide how karma repays us. But if you
Exactly.
have trauma and pain and hurt, it is reflected in your relationships. It is reflected in
Mm-hmm.
your finances. It is reflected in your business. It's reflected within your children.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I
I
agree.
began to learn that,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
my spirit began to reveal that. My ancestors began to connect, and I did healing with my father, even though he's deceased. I'm looking at him right now. You'll see me glance over there because he's on my altar. I had to heal
Mm-hmm.
relationships that I never got to talk to my father in the
Mm-hmm.
physical, but
Mm-hmm.
I had to mend that relationship. I had to
Yeah.
forgive him. You know, my
Yeah.
mom abandoned. My mom used to tell me, you know, you can't date a man if he ain't got no job and he ain't taking care of you. Men ain't supposed to just be your provider.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was a drug addict and I dated drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, family.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Jonta, I began to look at my daughter, my reflection, and I said, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
To
And so
repeat
my
this.
children tell me now, they call me a spiritual gangster. My daughter say, you've changed so much. And they're so proud of me. So, you know, my relationships was that even my friendships
Yeah.
reflected my trauma.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's your whole. It's ultimately your whole reality
Your
around you.
whole reality.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So okay. And I'm happy you talked about realities and realities because I'm gonna kind of segue into this. And you talk about purpose. Could you kind of talk about, kind of break down why we have these purposes because of our cosmic makeup. What a cosmic makeup is. Could you
Mm-hmm.
kind of break that all down so people can kind of
I definitely can.
understand?
So,
Yeah.
you know, as before we enter this physical realm, you know, we set up there with our spirit team and our
Hmm.
crew because I want people to have so much gratitude for this experience because you could have been a bird, a tree, a flower, a turtle, but you got chosen for this human
Yeah.
experience. So
Now in
find
this day and
gratitude
time.
in that, first of all.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, and we decided the journey. We decided the lessons. We decided the family.
Hmm.
We played a major part. Earth is a school.
Hmm.
And as spirits having this human experience, the lessons, the trauma is a part of the curriculum.
Hmm.
You know, so I began to take myself out this physical vessel. You know, I began to step back like, wow, I chose these experiences. I chose that heartbreak. I chose that disappointment. I'm not going to look at how it made me feel. Let me look at the result of it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because of that trauma, because of that experience, the result is something amazing. As
Hmm.
spirits having this human experience, you already decided. You
Hmm.
already decided what you would come up against in this experiences, the trials, the tribulations, the lessons, and you decided that these lessons will help you remember because you
Hmm.
gotta, without pain, purpose is not revealed.
Hmm.
Purpose is revealed through pain and pressure. Your
Hmm.
journey, your mission, none of this would have been revealed to me if I didn't go through what I went through.
Hmm.
You know,
So.
so I feel as spirits having this human experience, this is already set up for you.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not going to say everything, but pretty
Hmm.
much your journey, your curriculum, your experiences, this was already predestined. This was already divinely orchestrated.
Hmm.
We be
So
forgetting just how strong we are.
how is it for somebody that wonders about stuff like natal charts or numerology, etc.? What's the importance of you coming here at a specific time with all these planets beaming energy down on you in certain, what, how does
They
all
make up
factor
your
in?
they make
Hmm.
up your purpose. You know, and when it
Hmm.
comes back, we know our fathers and mothers' DNA, but what about your cosmic DNA?
Hmm.
You know, how the stars were aligned when you entered this physical realm.
Yeah.
Okay, what house was Mercury in, and where was Mars at, and what was Venus doing? Because all that plays a major point on
Hmm.
how you act, on how you
Hmm.
communicate, on how you love, on how you deal with finances, on how you deal with
Yeah.
trauma. So while you know your mama DNA and your daddy DNA, do you know your cosmic
Hmm.
DNA?
Yeah. I remember some time ago, years ago, when I was one of my big sisters, spiritual sisters, priestess Sut Raymond, when we first met, that's the first thing she said. She was like, "Yo, get, let me see your natal chart." You know what I mean? And I didn't really at the time, I didn't really understand because I wasn't in science like that, you know, and you know, when I saw it and she started breaking down the natal chart, I'm like, all of that is in this.
Yeah,
You know what
it
I'm saying?
is.
And I'm just like, what? It just looked like a wheel. You know what I'm saying?
And
Lines.
it will even bring up you can find your purpose in
Yes,
your natal
exactly.
chart. In my
Hmm.
past life, my south node was in Capricorn. So my past life, I spent time getting on top, getting to the money, succeeding by
Mm,
anything. Guess what? In this lifetime, my north node is in Cancer. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. Cancer is the humanitarian. Cancer is the nurturer. Cancer is the healer. Don't you see it?
yeah.
It's living right before
Hmm.
you. Your natal chart can even tell you what partners are not good for you. If I knew about my natal chart, half of the men I was with, I wouldn't even never been with.
When they tell you, yep,
Because
yep,
our natal charts don't match up. Another thing your natal
exactly.
chart can tell you the reason you are here, your purpose, the season, what you should be doing. You
Yep.
know, I just want to give an example. I'm a Pisces sun, but I'm a Cancer moon, and I'm a Sagittarius rising. Half people don't even know they top three.
Hmm.
You know, you're much more than just your sun sign because
Yeah.
every planet, every star was in position when you enter this realm.
Hmm.
Learn more about your cosmic makeup. It will help you
Yeah.
understand why you went through that trauma as a child. It will
Exactly.
help you understand why you chose certain relationships. It will help you enter and understand your purpose and your journey in this season.
That's yeah. I'm happy you broke it down like that because people really have to understand that, like you said earlier, it's way more than just you being here from your mom, your dad, and being 33rd and third to make you. It's a
Yeah.
whole level beyond that before you even get here. So I'm
Before
happy you
you
talked
even
about
get
it.
here. Before you
Yeah.
get here. It's a movie called 9 Days. And I don't want to get off topic, but it's six souls. And they are
Mhm.
interviewing to come to earth. These six souls are interviewing to come to earth, but only one of them, and they have 9 days to make the cut. I want people to
Mm.
really phantom this.
Yeah.
Everyone didn't make the cut.
Everybody. Yep. Exactly.
Everyone didn't make it to this human experience.
Yeah. That's so true.
Man, find the love and the gratitude even when you're going through the storm. My
Hmm.
love, because I promise you that has purpose behind it.
Hmm. Yep.
You know, and in this movie, these souls were trying to show how great they can be at the earth and what they could accomplish, and everyone didn't even get chosen.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? Even just the fact that what he said, you had to it's like even as a sperm, you know what I'm saying? There's like millions of different sperm cells and you just
Yep.
made it. You know
And
what I'm
yours
saying?
made it. How
You know?
how ironic is that? No, that's not ironic. That is pure blissfulness from the
Yeah.
universe, from the
Yeah.
most high, from the creator,
Hmm.
because you have a purpose. So many people
Hmm.
say, I'm looking for my purpose. Baby, you ain't got to look for it. It will find you.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. So we go to the cosmic realm, we get birth here. We learn our natal chart. So how important is it in all of this we're dealing with this how much is health factor into all of this?
A lot. A
Hmm.
lot. You know, your cosmic makeup will show the things you eat, the things you indulge in, the things that you absorb. When I say it's deep, it's really your spiritual makeup. It shows the different houses and the different characteristics, and it just gives you so much more insight. Without it, I wouldn't be this woman here. You know, I learned about having a Cancer moon. For a long time, I thought I was crazy having these abilities, but looking at my cosmic makeup, it was already in my cosmic DNA.
Yeah, it's right there.
It was right
Like
there.
a
It
whole
shows
tool
that I'm
chest.
psychic. It
Yeah.
says that I'm a medium, a
Hmm.
humanitarian, a teacher, a leader. I'll be damned if that's not what I'm doing right now.
Right
It
now.
shows when you're gonna wake up. It shows when you're gonna wake up and be like, hold up. And in my chart, it said 7 years. I've been heavy on this journey the last 5, but my awakening began deep 7 years ago. It shows everything.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. So,
And just like when we
huh?
have these full moons and new moons and spring
Hmm.
equinox, all that affects spiritual beings, which you and I are.
Okay, but well, in addition, I should say, because you were talking about earlier, you were drinking, you were doing drugs. I obviously your body was cluttered up. You weren't thinking right, all this kind of stuff. I guess more specific about the question is how much did how much did being healthy aid you in this transformation, and what exactly did you do
I'm aging
become
backwards.
healthy?
I'm saying people say I'm unrecognizable. I looked at me 10 years ago and I
Hmm.
said, who is that?
Yeah.
I look like pain.
Yeah.
I look like I was in trauma. I look like I was hurt. I do.
Hmm.
I did. And I was looking at that picture and looking at me now like, wow. With, I don't know if I want to count on it the fountain of youth, but you begin to age backwards,
Yeah.
literally.
Hmm.
And that's because you're putting not only more healthier conversations and people and music, and you're watching what you're doing, but you're eating healthier. That changed
Hmm.
my life a lot. See, spiritual wellness is mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
You got to have all three. So I began exercising. I had very low self-esteem. Very
Yeah.
low self-esteem. Mirror magic was another thing. I say that very loud because when you're in the mirror, you're looking at your reflection.
Hmm.
You're looking, the eyes is the gateway to the soul, baby.
Hmm. Yep,
And you
that's
look
it.
at yourself and you speak this love. You speak this like, I am confident. I am beautiful. I am successful. I am deserving. I began to speak this way. Hold up. Then I began to feel this way. Wait a minute. Hold up. And I began to not take less than what I deserve. I began to only show up where I'm celebrated and not tolerated.
Yeah.
Man, I'm talking about, I could, whew, I can talk for hours because,
Well, no, well,
go
I
ahead.
got, yeah. So you got, okay, you have different, we all know there's different aspects of healing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But, when I went to Haiti and I was studying over there with, some of the Haitian voodoo folks over there, um, I noticed something that they use candles a lot,
Yes.
you know, and I heard from numerous, not only just in Haiti, but different spiritual people, how much candles can assist. Could you kind of talk about how you can utilize candles for healing?
So candles is like this unlit essence. When you light a candle, you're rebirthing. What does fire does? It destroys everything. But after it
Hmm.
destroys everything, we can rebuild. We can
Hmm.
reconstruct. A new path has been cleared. So when you use candle magic, it is this unlit essence. Combine it with color, right? The frequency of color. Red candles bring in this frequency of love and compassion and self-worth and value. You add it with you some herbs because we know nature is everything. Some feminine herbs like lavender and roses that enhances that energy. Your intention is everything. You can take some green candles and you can visualize this green candle healing your body and nature embarking with you. The frequency and color of candle magic changed my life.
Hmm.
Right now, I'm lighting a red candle. And it has lavender and roses and blue pea flower. Okay, those herbs and that essence is to bring love within this abundant interaction, to bring
Hmm.
love in my atmosphere, to remind me that I am loved, that I am deserving, that I am confident, that I am enough. And when you begin to do this, and I'm not saying this is not something that's going to change overnight, you have to be
Yes.
diligent.
Yeah.
Candle healing is something that's my work.
Hmm.
You know, I sit in here and I dress candles and I connect with spirit. And I promise you, it could change your life if you're consistent and if you're intentional. See, so
Mm-hmm.
many times we looking at, you know, this westernized philosophy on how to heal. We got to take this pill. We got to take this pill. Really, you can heal with frequency.
Yeah.
And so that's what candle magic is about for me. It's frequency combined with the frequency combined with herbs and different colors of candles because they bring different things. Like blue is for blessings and
Mm-hmm.
royalty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
while purple helps enhance that crown chakra energy, helps you
Mm-hmm.
get in tune with your intuition. Where yellow is the energy of abundance and love and happiness,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you begin to implement and incorporate those things in your spiritual wellness routine and having those things on your altar, you begin to literally, physically, emotionally change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, I'm so happy you talked about that because all throughout the years in my journey, you hear from people, you have your E5 people, you got your you got your voodoo,
Sagittaria.
yeah, you got um all these different sects
Mm-hmm.
of um spiritual I'm gonna say just magicians. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Doing with different rituals and etc. You have all these different sects dealing with African spirituality. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember listening to Bobby Hemmett. You know what I'm saying? And Bobby Hemmett's like, "Yo, make up your own shit." You know what I'm
Make up
saying?
your
He was just,
own.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and it took me traveling around, and seeing this and being able to see things like you're talking about, people utilizing different ways to manifest things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's like, you don't have to be a Christian to meet Christ. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
a Muslim to meet Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Or Allah. You know what I'm
You
saying? It's
don't
like,
have to engage in these rituals.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can do your own thing. Could you kind of talk about? Is that something that you did as far as making your own magic? Is that how you are now?
Absolutely. So every one of us have our own magic. I
Yeah.
share this with my soul community and collective all the time. Encoded in your God gene, encoded in your God DNA lies magic. The magic of every ancestor before you. I'm talking about billions of years back. It lies wisdom. It lies knowledge. All you have to do is release it. All
Hmm.
you have to do is say, I'm ready for it to be revealed. All you have to do is embody it and embrace it. And
Yeah.
baby, your magic grows. I've been doing candle magic. I just shared a reel. I didn't even know it's been over 2 years.
Hmm.
I am my magic. I
Yeah.
am the tea. I am the candles. I am the
Yeah.
divination tools.
Hmm.
Me and my ancestors. I am this magic,
Hmm.
and for a lot of my brown people, they need to see it to believe it. So they need to see the car manifest, and they need to see the house manifest. They need to see the relationship manifested, but the manifestation shows up in the person.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the conduit. You're the
I'm the conjuring
yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
And all I do is conjure. I can sit in here and dance and make it rain.
Hmm. That's very interesting that you say that because like it to me it's amazing because we've been so dumbed down with religion and misinformed in so many ways because for the whole system and flip we've been lied to so long. And it's like they always talk about back in the day when like we've been saying, calling people gods and goddesses. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it's interesting because I used to always question like why could somebody say that? Why would they say god or goddesses? But just like you're saying, when you are able at the point in which you can literally manifest almost anything into reality, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, on this physical plane, that's the perfect definition for a god or a goddess.
Because
And
it
and
manifests in spiritual first.
yeah, Yeah, yeah,
Everything is
and
spiritual first.
yeah. No, it's very important. I have to say that people have to remember that we have a history of this, us manifesting anything, at will. You know what I mean? That's who we came from. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's real important that you keep on that we keep on talking about that fact. What you're talking right now, all the stuff you've been through, now you're at the point that you're putting the pieces of the puzzle together,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, maybe it might have been a rough batch earlier, but look at me now. And now it's like my purpose is more. So all these pieces of the puzzle are coming together to begin that picture of the goddess. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
this
It's a beautiful
tapestry
thing.
behind us. All
Hmm.
these pieces had to come together to form this tapestry. And it's just
Yeah.
like our life
Yeah.
and the
Hmm.
experiences that we have. And that's why I tell people, on the other side of that breakdown is your breakthrough.
Yeah.
On the other side of that setback is your set up.
Set up. Yep.
So many times we lose ourselves in what we're going through. And I'm not taking away anybody's hardships because we've been through it. I know we
Hmm.
have. But if we can start seeing the beauty in the hardship,
Yeah.
I know it's hard, but I want to
Yeah.
share this with the community. I've found the beauty in having
Hmm.
parents who wasn't there. I
Yeah.
found the light and love in going through what I've gone through because it has birthed this person.
Yeah. It's a very
Everything is
important.
spirit first.
Yeah, it's a very important attribute to be selfless. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And taking out that ego and that pride, you know what I mean, and being able to look outside in and analyze that from a different perspective, even if it's your own life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The best that you can. Um, okay, so we're talking about candle healing, different healings, but what other? Because I know we were talking earlier, and you said that you do Reiki healing. How did you get into Reiki healing, and how do you utilize it now?
I began to heal myself. I wanted
Hmm.
a natural way to heal myself. They want to put you on Xanax and Zoderol and
Oh
all
Lord.
these different medications, and
Mm.
I refused.
Yeah.
I refused. I knew, as me being God in human form and me being a nature being, it is other ways that I can energetically heal because everything is energy.
Hmm.
Everything is energy. It never dies, only transferred and transmuted. So I began to look in these different ways of energy healing. That's where candle magic came into as well. Candle magic is a form of Reiki healing. You look at the
Yeah.
churches and everything, you see that tons of candles
Oh yeah.
everywhere. It's
Yep.
a frequency of healing. That is what Reiki
Hmm.
healing. It is energetic healing. So I would go
Hmm.
out in nature and I would lay with crystals on me and I would lay in the grass. And as I'm laying in this grass, I will have sound bowls playing and I will have my
Mm.
eyes closed and I will envision this energy and these crystals removing, you know what I'm saying, these
Mm.
fibroids and removing, this inflammation from my room and removing this high blood pressure. And I kid you not,
Hmm.
it changed my life. I'm not on a blood pressure pill. I don't have a fibroid, none of that. I
Hmm.
didn't take any pills. I didn't
Hmm.
take any medication. I began to holistically heal myself. I began to heal my thoughts. Why do you think like that, Jonta? Why do you think
Hmm.
like? And then I began to heal my body and my spirit. So Reiki is simply energetic healing and using different spiritual tools. And when I say spiritual tools, I want to say those tools that nature gave us, that the Most High gave us. Crystals. I don't know how other people feel, but crystals had a lot to do with my healing.
Yeah.
They hold frequency. They've been in the planet for billions of years.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
crystals is something that I use in Reiki healing.
Hmm.
Sound bowl, sound
Hmm.
frequency
Frequency.
heals
Yeah.
the body.
Hmm. Yeah.
I begin to meditate. Meditation heals the body. Dance. It's a form
Yeah.
of Reiki healing. All
Hmm.
this is energetic healing. And our community needs to know that we have this available. You know, my grandmother died of dementia. And I was just entering deep in my journey before she died. But what I know now, I could have helped her then.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that we go through, even our elders, these sicknesses begin as energetic blockages. Every
Yeah.
physical disease starts as an energetic
Energy.
disease
Yep.
first. So if we
Manifest
can
in the
get our
physical.
elders and our sisters and our brothers, and everybody probably ain't gonna come with us, but if we can expose them and introduce them and to inspire them
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
try other methods to heal, you can literally heal yourself with your mind.
Yeah.
If you spend 30 minutes each day and go into meditation, and sometimes people think meditation, no, you could just close your eyes and envision this healing. You know, what I do in my womb healing, I have my soul clients, the goddesses, envision this orange healing around your womb, clearing out those energetic cords. Your mind is powerful.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's a part of Reiki healing too, because if you can see it in your mind's eye, you can hold it in your 3D reality.
You can hold it. All right. So, yeah, and also throughout just my traveling and dealing with different s- African spiritual sciences, you always have individuals that are do divination. And I'm gonna tell you, still today, you know what I'm saying. Some of my people I'm close with, when they read, and even to the day, when they do divination, I'm just amazed of how on point they are when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to, I mean, like down to the T. You know, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother conversation. So, but um, I want to know, how did you get into divination, and what type of divination is it that you do?
So it just came to me.
Mm,
It just came to me. So first I started honoring the Orishas.
okay.
Um, you know, so many people say you need to be initiated and all that. I don't do any of that. I don't care what anyone say. This is my journey, my spiritual
Yeah.
journey, my experience. I'm gonna do what I want first of all. Let me share that
Mm,
with the collective. But I began to honor the Orishas.
okay.
So one of the first Orishas I honored was Oshun. I
Okay.
went to the river. I gave her
Mm,
flowers and herbs, and I connected. And and that's my TikTok that did 44K. That
mm,
video, that ceremony, divination was introduced to me in my dreams, and I'm starting to see cars and all these things. So I just gradually began to gravitate to it. And so I started doing it by myself with my guys, and I'm like, wow, I'm really hearing the messages as the cars come to me. And like,
gotcha.
I can't even explain it, but like I told you before we went live, I'm talking to my spirit team, and I said, what is one message you guys want to give to me? And I flipped the card, and it said purpose. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our spirit team and our ancestors in the universe, they can't knock on your door and talk to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they can't call you on the phone and talk to you. So it's
Yeah.
different divination tools that
Yeah.
we use: tarot,
Yeah.
oracle, candle
Mm-hmm.
magic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, meditation. All these are divination tools, conjuring magic.
Mm-hmm.
All these are different ways to connect to spirit. Our ancestors did it for
Yeah.
years before things were
Mm-hmm.
westernized. Would go out in the
Mm-hmm.
sun and dance. That's a
Mm-hmm.
divination tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
after my Orisha giving, it took on a whole new life. It definitely did,
Yeah.
Angela.
Yeah. It, no, and I'm happy that I love this conversation because, like we were talking off camera, like most people know, like when I grew up, I got in this information, like right in my early 20s. So I remember the old conscious community. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
when Bobby Hemmett was out there, and like I said, people know already. Out down in Tamaray or the bookstores and the Wapians had Dr. York. I I seen all this stuff, and it's real interesting to me today because And one thing I got to say, I love the fact that I see the people like on top really sharing the love right now. They were back then, like doing that, like the Blue Pills and the Brother Rich. All these cats were doing it way back. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful seeing them like shining right now, man. I love it. Um, but I also, on the flip side, I see how it's like becoming a trend.
And I,
And,
oh,
and to me,
and it
it's
makes it hard for true spiritualists.
well, yeah, but I'm not gonna say it's confusing. It's
Yes, it
I mean
is.
it's confusing to a certain degree. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it's but people, so you can understand how anything can become a trend. But something like this, something so important becoming a trend. You know what I mean? How could you kind of like build on that? Like, what do you feel about that? I think that's interesting.
I feel, first of all, wait a minute, let me make sure my phone not gonna die. Okay, there we go. It has become a trend. First off, it's a lot of souls who have the gift, okay,
Hmm.
of sight and clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudience, and it's also a lot of imposters.
Yeah.
What we have to do, and that comes back to self, your
Hmm.
spirit will discern who is
Yeah.
for you and who is
Who's
not.
not?
You
Yeah.
can't just go get messages from everybody. You can't go on TikTok and she pulling cards and she tell you this and you like, oh yeah. No, you
No.
have to have discernment,
Hmm.
because some people are just doing this for entertainment, literally.
Hmm. Yeah. Literally.
It is a gentleman on TikTok. I know he has at least 1 million followers who did a collaboration. And this is another thing why the ancestors is upset, because people have taken what was sacred to us
Yeah.
and sacred to our ancestors, and they turn it into a toy and a game,
Yeah.
and it's nothing to play with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is people
Yeah.
who is profiting off of this and using it all for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I agree.
All for the wrong reasons. It was this guy, and he sealed the deal with McDonald's. First of all, if he's any type of oracle or spiritual leader, why are you sending your soul clients to McDonald's?
McDonald's. Yeah.
Then just look at that. Just look at that. You're
Hmm.
sending them to
That doesn't
McDonald's,
match.
and
That
if they
doesn't
go buy
match.
a Big Mac, they get a tarot card.
Good gracious.
So you have to look at things like that. Spirituality, yes, has become a trend. A
Hmm.
lot of people are ascending and awakening, but it's a lot of imposters, and a lot of them don't even look like us.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just
So
game. I
it
literally had to
is.
put. I literally had to put on my. I think my IG.
Babe, put those little two
I had to.
cameras off of me right there. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I was talking
No,
to
you good.
myself.
No, I literally had to put on my profile like, please do not DM me about readings and all that kind of. Because it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? These people, coming up there and oh man, it's sickening to me just because I know real cats. You know what I'm saying? I know real phony cats too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Like someone
um,
even made a fake profile of me, and has been DMing people to do spells for them and
ha-
everything. Like,
happens all the
yes,
time. Yep. Yep. Yep.
so it's up to us,
Well.
and that's when it comes
Hmm.
to being connected to your spirit. Your spirit will tell you. And like I tell people, I don't chase, I attract. Anyone who
Yeah.
needs me, spirit will bring them to me. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
hop in
Exactly.
your DM and say, "Hey, spirit told me." No, come
That's
on
so
now.
tacky. That's so tacky, man. Y'all gotta. I mean, the people. If y'all know anybody, whatever the case may be, doing it, that is the tackiest thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is so tacky. All right. So now let's get down. We heard this whole story you had, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
in your life, you know what I'm saying? Being broke down and building up to where you are now. I want to know, since we're, it's recorded on record for the people to know, what exactly products do you have and what services do you have for the people and how can they contact you?
Okay. Well, I have different intuitive sessions where I
Hmm.
channel with spirit and your guides, and we get guidance and we get clarification. Just
Hmm.
for an example, I have an intuitive session where we sit
Hmm.
down for an hour. You don't give me any questions. You don't tell me anything. I just flow. I just
Mm-hmm.
flow with this information. I flow with this guidance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we develop a formula and a plan. So I have different sessions depending on my soul client's needs. Somebody may just want to come to me and say, hey, I'm having an issue right now and I just need guidance on this one issue. Where another soul client may come to me and say, I need a whole soul rejuvenation. So we're going to have a soul rejuvenation package where we tackle mind, body, and spirit. Right? We tackle
I
the
like
thoughts
that.
that you're thinking and what generational conditioning in society made you, think that way, and religion and your body. What are you eating? What are you drinking? And your
Yes.
spirit? What religion things shaped your spirituality and things like that? So that's a
Mm-hmm.
soul rejuvenation package. And, just different intuitive. I even have love sessions where you could come as a single and a couple. Basically, I am a healer. I am my daughter always say, you like the spiritual doctor, and I help you grow and I help you evolve. So I have different packages when it comes to different sessions, and I'm now about to add Reiki healing to my services. I hadn't added it before because I want to do Reiki healing in nature. I don't
Okay.
want anyone to come to my house and things like that. So I'm trying to wait to springtime where I can have
Mm-hmm.
different locations with my clients and we can do Reiki healing in nature. So that's a new service that's going to come. So I have several intuitive sessions where I channel and we use different divination tools. A lot of
Mm.
my spiritual products involve things that is going to lift your frequency. So my candles, I make smudge sprays. So you know how we burn different smudging tools, right? Because we know different herbs and different smudging tools can bring in abundance and right opportunity, can eliminate negative energy. So I make, instead of using smoke wands, I make mood sprays. So let me explain it to you. It's like a wash. So you take these spiritual herbs and you take the rain water and you take different spiritual colognes. Like this is Florida water, this is a money cologne, this is a destroy everything cologne, and you mix it all in one pot, right? And with your attention and with your energy, you let that boil, you let that simmer, and then I turn it into a spray. One of the sprays I have is called Back the Fuck Up, and that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to eliminate any negative energies and negative entities around you. If
Yeah.
somebody start running out the room, you know why. Another smooth spray I have, smudge spray, is Happy Go Lucky. It's gonna make you
Mm-hmm.
feel good. It's gonna let out that dopamine in your head, and you're gonna find things to be happy about. And another one I have is Love Taboo. When
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling the lack of love, and you need that luster, and you need that compassion, all these things help elevate your frequency, your spirit. A couple other products that I have, my candles, my smudge sprays. I have oils. Everything is natural that I create.
Mm-hmm.
I have oils for the womb, right? I have teas for the womb. That is very important for my goddesses. I've been yoni steaming now for 2 years. I do not have fibroids anymore. I'm
Mm.
not holding on to any energetic cards of attachment. So yoni teas are simply a tea for your womb. So I
Mm-hmm.
create those that help with fertility and help with fibroids and help with cutting energetic cords of attachments. I also make oils for the womb. This is all part of the womb healing and the womb connection, because your womb creates magic as well. If I didn't
Mm-hmm.
say it before, you can manifest through your womb.
Yeah.
Sex magic is something very big. So those are a couple other offerings that I have. So it's definitely growing. I actually just really got my website and uploaded. It's been like the last 6-7 months, almost a year. So I'm definitely happy to see it grow, and I'm always growing and I'm always evolving. So my store will always change how I change.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I have different smudge wands, but I am steering back from the sage because I've learned that they are going to these indigenous people's land, and they taking this stuff and not even giving them money, not giving them anything. Once again, take it. And I know how that feels. So that's why I got into these smudge sprays too, because while we're using this sage to cleanse our energy, it just came from someone's land that it was taken from. They weren't even
Yeah.
compensated properly. So I take all that into consideration, with the spiritual tools that I make. But all the tools that I make are to reignite your spirit, to relax your body, to relieve your mind. And they do that. They definitely do that. Yeah. So that's pretty
What's the
much it.
easiest?
I got some new things coming, but I want to keep quiet on it. I ain't ready to
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of reveal it
Well,
yet.
I already put your contact info in the description. What's the easiest way they can contact you?
You can contact me. Email is really great, but you can shoot me a DM on IG. You can subscribe to my email and my newsletter on my website. That way you get
Hmm.
information. I send out newsletters about the full moon and new moon and different cosmic events that's going on in our universe. And sometimes I just share. We just had a full moon in Leo that was heavy. So, in this newsletter, I share how to deal with those feelings and those emotions. So, IG, TikTok, email, DM, those are all the ways they can find me and definitely get in contact with me.
I've been talking with my I like to call it my coven of priestesses,
This one
recently
of my
just about.
smooth sprays right here. This is Happy Go
Oh
Lucky.
wow. Yeah, that's.
Jamel, can you pass me a couple sprays really quick, son? So this is Happy Go Lucky. So this is one of those floor washes, and color is frequency. I deal with color and everything. So
Hmm.
yeah, this is one right here. Pass me back the fuck up. It's black, and just pass me out like three of them, son. I just want to show you really quick. So yeah, that'll work. Thank you. And this is back the fuck up. As you can see, it's black. And this is a new one. I haven't added it to the line, but Goddesses is gonna be somewhere in there. So these are the colognes that I use, herbs and spiritual cologne and the rainwater and my intention and my ancestors, and we get busy. Okay,
Okay.
creating products and services that relieve the mind, relax the body, and reignite the spirit.
I want to like I was just saying that I've been speaking to some of my sisters, you know what I'm saying, around my priestesses I like to call them, and we're just looking at in the world today and just current events. What is there anything that you're foreseeing or any type of download that you've been having recently about,
Um,
you
yeah.
know,
It's gonna be a rough 2023.
I'm hearing
Depending,
that
I
a
don't
lot.
want to say it's gonna be rough. The veil is lifted.
Yeah,
Okay, the
definitely.
veil is lifted. Um, People are about to be exposed. A lot of celebrities are about to be exposed.
Hmm.
A lot of pedophilia rings are about to be exposed. I mean, your top
Hmm.
celebrities, LeBron James. I'm sorry, y'all, about to be
Mm.
exposed.
Oh wow.
The blood rituals they have gonna be exposed. The sacrificing of children gonna be exposed. The government is already gone. Okay,
Hmm.
tell a lot to your vision. That's what they do. But a lot of people in the government are already stepping down because they know what time it is. The
Yeah.
ancestors are back. They
Hmm.
are back.
Hmm.
Okay, they are showing up in different ways. Just like that earthquake happened, I told people, yes, catastrophes are going to happen because the earth is being cleansed. People need
Hmm.
to learn how to be self-sufficient, learn how to garden,
Yeah.
learn how to take the
Hmm.
rainwater and to be able to make it drinkable. Learn where your fresh water, your spring water. Georgia has a lot of spring water reservoirs here. Learn where you can go get
Yeah.
spring water from. Okay, begin fasting because maybe 1 or 2 days you may go without eating. I'm not saying this to make anyone scared, but to make people aware.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Wash your food. Wash your food. The vegetables too. They know that we're healthy. They know that we're ascending. They know that the light code has been unlocked. The veil is completely lifted. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to implement even more fear tactics. Okay, they're going to use the
Yeah.
tell a lie to your vision to keep you in a state of fear, to keep you in a state of panic, to keep you in a state of doubt. Okay, and
Yeah.
this when it comes to your spiritual wellness and having that connection to your source and yourself, you got to stand strong in who you are. You got
Mm-hmm.
to stay strong in who God created you to be, and know that this shakeup is happening for a reason. Everybody
Yeah.
can't go with you, and
Yeah.
everybody ain't gonna go with you. We're gonna
Yeah.
lose people that we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's gonna happen,
I've,
and it's time to build community.
yeah.
And that's why I'm speaking up. I just started me a Patreon. It ain't nothing but $5 a month, but I'm ready to build community.
Yeah.
Where
That's
can our
excellent.
daughters go for advice? I just had a young man on my live who was crying his eyes out, saying that he feel like he's gonna die. Where's the community for the young boys? You know,
Mm-hmm.
men are taught to be strong and be brave. They can't even show emotion. It's time to have community where they can release that, because these
Yeah.
boys become men who lead women. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so
Exactly.
yeah,
And children.
it's
And
gonna be a
children.
shake up this year. It's
Yeah.
gonna be,
Yeah.
but our
No. Yeah.
ancestors prepared us.
Yeah. It's no. It's interesting because it's almost universal the stuff I'm hearing. Even what you just building right now, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
even the way it's yeah. And it's also what I'm feeling and seeing as well. You know what I'm saying? For change to happen, you know what I'm saying? There has to be, like you said, a shakeup.
You
You know
gotta
what I
be a
mean?
shake up.
It has to
Some
be
people gotta
it has to be a
go.
shakeup.
Some
Yeah,
people
no, no, I
gotta
know.
go.
And
Some structures gotta go. Some things
yep,
that been in place, they're going to go. You know, and
yep,
it really is. As women, we gotta learn how to. We can't use our ancestors didn't use their milk. We got to
yeah,
learn how to feed
exactly.
our own babies. We got to learn how to
Yep.
take coconut powder and dates and spring water and certain things like that and create our own formula. We got to learn
Hmm.
to lean on community and stop depending on this government, which is
Yep.
mind controlled. If you break down the word, they're you
Hmm.
know, it's really time to get back to that. So I want to build community. I want to
I
connect
s-
with like-minded and like-hearted people. I want to grow. Because
I
we're
keep
gonna
on
need each
saying,
other though.
yeah.
We are.
I like what you said earlier about being self-sustaining. I tell people all the time, simplicity and no, yeah, simplicity and sustainability is, that's what is going to get you through this going forward. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And I saw a meme once recently, I it was some months ago, and it had this sister. It looked like the picture was probably back in the probably about the 40s. It looks like she had a little house, and she was tilling the land, and the meme said something like, you know, our ancestors used to be rich. They had their own land, they made their own
Mm-hmm.
food, and so on. And we
They did
gotta get back to
everything.
that.
We
Yeah,
got
we
to get
gotta
back
get
to that.
back to
We have
because
got lazy.
yeah, yeah. It's
We feel privileged.
yeah, it's literally as a metaphor being inside the matrix. We're here.
Yeah.
If you're part of this world, I mean, it's okay to have good stuff. Don't get it twisted, but knowing the true value of this, you know what I'm saying, and being detached from the way this world is, you know what I'm saying. That's two separate things.
Yeah.
But a beautiful build. This is a beautiful build. I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying, that we were able to connect. You know what I'm saying, and in the future, you know what I'm saying. I definitely love to have you back. We could talk some more
Yeah.
even more topics. We scratched the surface today. You know what I'm saying. Now the people that are that more on my platform that didn't really get to know you. Now they get to know you. Now we can really start to have some real conversations. So hopefully,
Yes.
in the future, we can build on that.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
uh,
I
yeah,
am great
I
to build
I did want to
community.
if you for everybody watching, please follow. Yeah, they give you your props.
I
Had a question
appreciate it,
earlier.
you
Let's
guys.
see,
I
we got a little
appreciate it
time.
so
Let's see.
much.
Somebody had a question. Go ahead if you want to answer this real quick.
Using
I
meditation,
think
what
we
other
go.
method can be used to get each chakra spinning and activated Your diet plays a major key. What you're eating, what you're drinking, and what will get your chakras going is that sun gazing. Get in the sun. I spend 1 hour each day. I don't care how hot I am. I sit in that sun and I let it activate more of my wisdom, my knowledge, align my chakras. So your diet, getting that proper sun, getting into nature. And I also recommend sound bowl. Frequency sound will change your life. You know, they have different sacral sound bowls and your root chakra sound bowls and your solar crest. If we are in the age of information, so it's no excuse for us anymore. You know, so yeah, definitely diet,
No excuse.
sun.
You're right about that.
Yeah, it's not. We in the age of information. That's one thing that our ancestors didn't have. You know, they had their information, but how we have it at our disposal right now, it's no reason for us not to be able to learn and grow and build.
Not
You
like
know,
this.
so yeah, definitely. That sun is definitely important. One of the big key aspects, and the foods. You know, like when I'm working on my sacral chakra, I dress in orange. I eat orange foods. I do a sacral chakra meditation and dance. That's aligning my sacral. Okay, when I'm working on my root chakra, I'm eating red foods. I go stand and ground by a tree, right? I connect that way when I'm working on my solar plexus. Okay, it's just it's so many ways for us to connect, family.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
I
man.
really enjoyed this.
Again, I should say, if you haven't already, please follow, um, like, and share here. Please share this information, man. We got to get this information out to the people. And if you haven't already, please go to IG, TikTok, follow Polka Dot Rabbit and his good sister. How is the name for shown in IG? I think it's all
I'm
one,
on
right? Everything's the
TikTok
same.
as Intuitive Jonta. I'm on Instagram as Intuitive Jonta. I just started my YouTube. It's the Aboriginal Intuitive, and my website is the Aboriginal
Okay.
Intuitive, but Intuitive with an E.
Okay.
Yeah, you know
Well,
I had to be a
my
little
sister, it
different, put
was
my
a
own spin
beautiful
on it.
build. I can't wait to do it again in the future. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So it's a great idea. All right, that's it for us on this end. Like I said already, if you haven't ready, please go check me out. PolkaDotRabbitPodcast.com. Get my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. We are out of here, and thank you again, sister. And until next time,
Until
peace and
next
love.
time, family. Peace and love.
All right.